Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I'm Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And it's a very special edition this week as we mark our 150th episode. And there we go. We can already hear them joining me for this landmark programme. First up, it's a very welcome return to comedian and farmer Jim Smith. And in his team, he's joined by stand-up Jay Lafferty. And facing them are funny woman Susie McCabe and blind comedian Jamie McDonald. In the news this week, Simon Cowell wants to release a cookbook to prove that he's not had a gastric band. For those of you who don't know, gastric band is a band that turns your stomach and puts you off your dinner, much like the majority of Simon Cowell's acts. Disney's new video streaming service has reached more than 50 million subscribers since its launch 5 months ago. Many have attributed this to the recent collapse of Disney Plus's biggest competitor being allowed outside. Oh, the good old days. An out-of-work airline pilot has swapped his Boeing for a van as he joined Tesco's home delivery team. Customers say he's doing a cracking job, although they wish he'd stop confiscating all of the liquid items over 100 mils. Right, are we up for it this week, teams?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's crack on with round one. Woo! Yeah. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Jay and Jim, can you tell me the first story?
The First Minister says Scotland
has changed in all kinds of ways.
after making 2 trips to 5. Nicola Sturgeon says
How different our normally bustling cities sound.
during the outbreak.
Any ideas what our first story might be? Jay?
Oh well, it's the lockdown, isn't it? We're still locked down, and I was actually doing fine with this, Des. I was doing fine, and then the sun came out, and I realised that we have the most spiteful weather in Scotland. Like for the last 3 years, it snowed at Easter time, and of course now sun splitting the sky. And you know, the minute this is all over, it's going to start hailing it down again, don't you?
We're just ready for it, aren't we? Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that was a moment. The sun came out and hung about outside Catherine Calderwood's house and took some pictures. More on that to come. We've got the first story, and it's the big story of the moment. Of course it is. We're all in it together. It's the moment of the year and the century so far. How are you coping, Jay? Are you going all right with the lockdown then?
I'm coping pretty well with it because, you know, back in the 90s, I actually did a summer in my bedroom when I went through an early goth phase. So I'm quite mentally prepared for this. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I actually had a goth friend who was called COVID-19. So I'm sorted for it. I'm okay.
Jim, what about yourself? This is lockdown, and for you, obviously, in the farm, it might be a different picture. How's it going for you?
Well, Des, you know, I'm stuck up here with all animals, haven't seen anyone for weeks, so no change really, just normal.
And what about you, Susie? How are you adapting to lockdown life?
For about the first 3 days, because you're not really at home a lot when you're a stand-up comedian, right, as you know. And you know, so a lot of weekends I'm away and then you come back and then my partner's working, so you don't always get that quality time. And we thought, oh, we'll have so much quality time. And after day 3, we realised we do not like quality time with each other. No. Then, Des, on Sunday, I said to her, you can get all the Golden Girls on Prime. That is an essential purchase.
Wow.
The Golden Girls. And she said to me, no, it's not. And now I don't know where our future lies.
Well, here's the thing that they're saying, that how lockdown's affecting us, that we're learning all these new skills. We're learning something about ourselves, our resilience, our patience, what our original hair colour is. So much new information. Jim, I know that you're eager to come in this. How's lockdown going for you? Are you learning new skills? What's happening?
There's folk up here still getting used to it because old Bobby down the road, he's got no internet and no telly and his radio's on the blink, so he only just got a letter from Boris there on Thursday. He's only just discovered that he's up to me with a letter. What's this coronavirus? What's going on?
Jay, what about you? This is the thing everyone's talking about. We're all learning these new skills and things that we've developed during this time of lockdown. Does that sound like you at this point in time?
Well, as you know, I've got a 5-month-old baby, so we started baby massage classes, and I have to say he's terrible at it. It's rubbish. The hot oil turned out to be pee. He drilled in my hair. He started screaming. I was not relaxed in the slightest.
Jamie, what about yourself? Are you taking the time to learn some new skills?
Well, I thought I'd try and learn the new elbow handshake, but I nearly knocked out the postie.
Yes, it's the news of the continuing lockdown. It's the right answer, Jay and Jim. Well done. You get 2 points for that. And now to you, Susie and Jamie. What was the other story we were after?
Dr. Catherine Calderwood. Yeah, she got busted breaking her own advice. She told everyone to stay in, and then she went to her own holiday home in Fife, not once, but twice.
Oh, there we go. It is about breaking the rules. That's the correct answer. Scotland's Chief Medical Officer and New Zealand's Health Minister have both been caught bending their own rules. Jamie, what do you think about people breaking the rules at this time?
I can't deny it. I'm doing it myself. This social distancing, right, it's not for blind folk, by the way, honestly. It's quite funny because Sainsbury's, they've actually, to kind of combat this, they've opened at special hours, like just for disabled and vulnerable people. But what they've not realised is disabled people and vulnerable people aren't the same. Like, it's bedlam up there. Like, you've got guys, young, hungry guys in wheelchairs knocking down vulnerable folk like Skittles. And I'm kamikaze and everything. There's deaf guys kind of hand-slapping folk saying it's just robust signing.
Can you not set the dog on them, Jamie?
I can't pat dogs now. I don't understand it.
Oh, no, surely not.
Is it no cats that are getting it? And some other country, they're like, the tigers have got it now, so then you go near a tiger. I mean, as if the fact it's going to rip your head off isn't enough. Of course I'm not going to go near a tiger, mate. Don't worry about it.
Should we be doing more, though, to encourage people to obey the rules? What do you think the best way to do that would be, Jamie?
They should have named it after a stronger lager. I'd have toed the line a lot earlier if I knew I was going to get Tennant's Super Spreader or Carlsberg Special Flu.
Probably the worst flu you can get. I quite like that, yeah. Maybe it's the name that's the problem. Jay, what about you then? Obviously, we're talking about breaking the rules. Have you seen evidence of this?
Well, I live in Edinburgh, so social distancing was quite common here anyway, especially between the classes. When NMD in Morningside hears my accent, they're going to stand at least 2 waitresses apart from me.
If you were going to bring in your own additional rules, what would they be? Susie?
See the First Minister's daily briefing on the old BBC Scotland channel. I have thoroughly enjoyed that, because what I have enjoyed is looking at Nicola Sturgeon and thinking, she is going to throw that pen at that monitor. If one more journalist asks the question that she has already answered half an hour ago. And also, I like to count how many times her eyes are going to roll out her head, because she's just like, if that was school, right? If that was school, and Nicola Sturgeon was a teacher and it was like the 80s or 90s, that would have been a duster thrown long ago.
Great, I love that. Brilliant observation of the briefings. Jamie, what about you? If you were to bring in any additional rules, what would they be?
Well, I think there's got to be something done. People are using this as an opportunity to be a bit meaner to Chinese folk. And we know that Corona probably came from a bowl of bat soup and a pangolin toasty combo, but people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You know, objectively, we've got some quite bogging food. You know, it could be quite easy that the world is just now battling against Haggis 19.
We're the country that found penicillin by not cleaning up a lab. We are in no position.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's brilliant. So there we go. Yes, we're talking about rule breaking. Well done. Susie and Jamie, you get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the lockdown and breaking the rules. And at the end of the round, the teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion. Obviously, we can't get out and about in the streets to speak to the general public, so instead we caught up with a couple of friends of the programme, Judy Murray and Fred Macaulay. So, Susie and Jamie, what story do you think Fred is talking about here?
It was no surprise to me that Scotland was the first country to actually record the use of this word as far back as the 1500s, and it was a student in Edinburgh just after he'd heard that Scotland had been beaten by England with a late penalty. Yeah, I was in a wee bit of a difficult position because my kids had seen me doing this on stage and I had to impress on them that it was okay for Dad to do it when he was at work, but it was not okay for it to happen at home. Some people say it's not big and it's not clever and it's an indication of poor vocabulary. Well, we didn't have dictionaries a long time ago, so that's our excuse.
Oh, thank you for that, Fred. Right, what do we think Fred was going on about? Any idea there, Susie?
Is this Scotland invented the F word?
Yeah. By the way, this is going to be a very tricky round to do. But yes. You're absolutely right, yeah. Specifically, swearing is the answer, and it is the news this week that the first ever recorded use of the F word has been attributed to a 16th century manuscript written right here in Scotland. And you could tell it was Scottish as it came directly after the words "getty." Yeah, Susie, is anybody surprised that Scotland was the first place to use the F word?
Not at all, not at all. Do you know, I think it just kind of suits us. I always think it's quite interesting, you know, if you're doing a kind of posher, fancy gig up here, and people say, keep swearing to a minimum, and then you go down south to do a posh gig, and they're like, absolutely no swearing whatsoever. Like, if you swear, you're going to the burny fires of hell.
What about you, Jamie, then? Are you surprised the first ever recorded version of the F word was here in Scotland?
Oh, I tried to... Oh, sorry,
sorry.
Wolf and someone just punched the door. Has to go.
Jamie, have you got a delivery or have you walked into Asda again?
Give me that, whatever it is.
By the way, the dog's getting 2 points. Right answer. Jim, what about yourself, mate? Is it just a stereotype?
If we're herding sheep and floss the dogs and doing what she's told, man, I just go nuts at the sheep. You know, I just, my wee niece used to come and help, and she figured out what was. And if I said a bad word outside the lambing shed, to say, you know, that these words that Uncle Jim are really just meant for in the lambing shed. So that's how she defined swearing. What was allowed in the lambing shed?
It's great. The lambing shed sounds like Fight Club. Jay, what about yourself?
I remember the first time I told someone to F off. My mum gave me into trouble and my dad gave me £1. And I don't know if you saw this week, right? But it was the 700th anniversary of the Declaration of Arbroath.
Yes.
I mean, that's the edited version that they've got there, because the original, you'd never have been able to put that in a tea towel. It was filthy.
The truth is coming out about our sweary past. I love the swear replacements that you get. If you remember, there was a time about 20, 30 years ago where they would put on 15 and 18 films in the telly, but they would dub them. And I couldn't work out for years why Eddie Murphy kept having a go at melon farmers, right? And it's You've got it right, panel. Well done. Swearing is the correct answer. 2 points go to Susie and Jamie. Right, your turn now, Jay and Jim. Here's our old pal, Judy Murray. What do you think that she's on about here?
Life was a lot less hectic. Remember when we used to get our news via teletext? Wow. Mullets and shoulder pads. Fantastic. I mean, we all had them, didn't we? This one spun me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby.
I think our pal Judy's talking about how the 80s, or kind of the style of the 80s, in particular the music, is making a kind of comeback with bands such as The Weeknd.
Yeah, absolutely right. Fantastic, Jim. Almost sounding like you know what you're talking about there.
I have no idea who The Weeknd is.
A band. It's just, by the way, The Weeknd is just one guy rather than a band, but well done blagging it, Jim.
Oh, God.
Aye, because, well...
I thought it was a 5-piece that went round town halls on a Saturday night.
Yes, the 80s are back. It's because of global pop phenomena Dua Lipa, who's embraced the look and the sound for a new video where she sports lycra, leotard and sweatbands. We've also got The Weeknd, who's riding high in the charts in the back of his shamelessly retro-sounding synthwave 80s pop. Synthwave is, of course, also how two robots greet each other when they're social distancing. So, all of this is back. For you, Jim, a big fan of the 80s, it's never really gone away, so you're not surprised it's making a comeback.
No, I've actually started listening to long story, but I changed my tractor there.
God.
So when I start the tractor now, the radio automatically comes onto Radio 1, and now I haven't really listened to Radio 1 for years, but that Weekend tune kept playing, and I'm thinking, is there a track for the 80s I've missed or something? Because it does sound like something that Rocky could have done a montage to.
Jay, are you surprised that the 80s seem to be making this comeback?
No, I'm not surprised at all. And the lockdowns actually got me feeling quite nostalgic for the 80s, because the last time I was kept in the house this long was 1988, when I was grounded for attempting to be like Madonna and cutting the fingers off my mum's good gloves.
I'm with you, Jay. I want to bring back the 80s. I'm bringing back the 80s shoulder pads. I wore some of Joan Collins' old ones to Asda. Nobody got within 2 metres of me. Absolutely brilliant. Jamie, are you ready and up for the 80s comeback then?
I'm happy to have them back, but there was some stuff that didn't make sense in the 80s to me, like Reebok Pump. Why in any trainer do you need an inflated tongue?
Yeah, what was that about?
No idea, to make it harder to tie the laces.
Susie, what about yourself? First up, are you surprised that we seem to have a 1980s comeback?
No, because everybody's in the house pretty much unemployed and the future's looking pretty bleak. If that doesn't sum up the current day situation and the 1980s, I don't know what does.
Let's do a wee quick round the panel here about the 1980s. It seems like they're coming back. What was your favourite thing about the 1980s? Susie?
Probably the comedy, because like your spitting image and your alternative stuff like that. The music was pretty rotten.
The music was hit and miss, but the comedy was good.
Know.
Here we go. You've started something here with Jim.
Like the theme tune to Knight Rider is just sublime. It's just sublime.
Well, do you know, see the other night we had a quiz with 8 of our mates, right? And we had a round of TV theme tunes, and 2 of the tunes in it, one was Jim Diamond, Hi Ho Silver from Boone.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right, and then the second one was Dennis Waterman, I Could Be So Good For You.
Minder.
Right, and I am not joking, see when we played them, everybody just burst spontaneously into song, because it's like imprinted on your brain.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And that kind of thing of the 80s, of where you just sat and watched whatever was on TV because you didn't have a home entertainment system in your own bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
So here's the thing. We're looking at the 80s because that's the era that people are saying are coming back. But if you could choose to live in another decade other than the 80s, what would it be?
I'd go back to the 1880s, and I'd love to have a house in Queensferry and watch the 4th rail bridge getting built. That must have been quite a thing to see.
Exciting times there.
See, to be fair, Jim, I'm 100% with you in that, because that is my favourite bridge, right? And don't even get me started on a viaduct.
Like many for me, the sound of the 80s is that of a Rubik's Cube. That distinctive click, click, clack as it's been booted off the wall because you can't solve it. I miss those days. Well done. The return of the 80s is the correct answer. 2 points go to Jay and Jim. You're tuned to the 150th episode of Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark, and to mark the occasion, we've been sent a special anniversary message by the First Lady of Scotland, Judy Murray.
Hi, Des. Congratulations on 150 episodes of Breaking the News. I mean, who would have believed that you would last that long? Seriously, thank you for entertaining the nation. You are absolutely brilliant, but your Andy impression is still crap.
I have no idea what she's talking about. Jim, you better do yours now, come on.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear from Mum there. She's amazing.
So there we go. Thank you to Judy Murray. Thanks to everyone wishing as well on being 150 episodes here and still standing, especially in these times. We're keeping the show going and we continue with it now as this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Jay and Jim, you're first this time. Who is this?
It's one of those names that when I was growing up, I thought, why on earth couldn't they have called me something much simpler?
I think that is our new Labour leader, Keir Starmer.
That's it. The new UK Labour leader, Keir Starmer, has been elected. Starmer wants to move on from the era of Jeremy Corbyn and return to the old Labour traditions, such as winning elections. So, Jay, what about this then? Keir Starmer, what's your first impressions? Do you think he's going to make a difference to the party?
He couldn't be less like Jeremy Corbyn if he tried. Because Jeremy Corbyn's like Papa Smurfs. He's been ousted by Buzz Lightyear. They just don't belong in the same universe.
Jim, what's your take on it? Keir Starmer, new Labour leader?
I haven't really tuned in much to what it was all about because I've been busy lambing and that.
Just for the benefit of people, Jim thought the current Labour leader was Neil Kinnock, so just breaking the news to him there. Jamie, what about yourself then? Obviously a change at the top for UK Labour. Keir Starmer voted in with quite a decent majority actually.
Yeah, I think, a white, able-bodied, straight male, just a breath of fresh air, really. I'm just wondering how someone so diverse is going to work in such a button-down time.
Keir Starmer has actually moved to appoint a shadow cabinet. He did bring Ed Miliband back, although I thought they missed a trick. He should have appointed him Minister for Food just to give him another shot at eating a bacon sandwich. Here's a question for you. If you could be the shadow minister for something, what would it be?
See, I'm just not keen on the phrase shadow minister because it sounds like they're evil wizards. There's got to be a better title than that. Do you know, like the mirror minister or the I'm watching you guy for education? That sounds less sinister than the shadow minister for education.
Yeah.
It just sounds like you teach evil spells to children. The shadow minister for transport sounds like you're living in a haunted bus.
Susie, what about yourself then? If you could get an appointment on that shadow cabinet, what would you be doing?
I would probably pick the Shadow Duchy of Lancaster in charge of looking after the Queen's income. So I could just then sit and go, oh no, she's not buying that. Oh, no way, no way, no way. Oh no, she's not getting that. Another horse, many horses does she need? No chance.
Yeah, there we go. 2 points go to Jay and Jim. That was, of course, Keir Starmer. Right, Susie and Jamie, your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
For me, in the early days, whenever we played Glasgow, we loved it. And they seemed to like us, which was a great relief.
That is Paul McCartney. I love the Beatles, right? But I do not love Paul McCartney. No. Because he's quite patronising for an old bloke, isn't he?
Yeah.
For an old bloke that's not fought a war. You think, shut up, Paul.
Sir Paul McCartney has confessed that he's addicted to watching TV shopping channels. He's worth £820 million, but claims that he's gripped by exciting products like, and I kid you not, the German stain remover DD7. Not to be confused with the current Scotland team, which is the Diddy 11. Jamie, to you, first of all, on Sir Paul McCartney, this admission that he's addicted to the shopping channels.
You kind of get the feeling that you turn up to his house and he'd open it and he's just unpacked his new mop. And he's excited and he'll take you through it and he'll, just for a treat, he'll fling in some kind of cheesy Beatles pads like, I can clean the top of my conservatory without any help from my friends. And when did it arrive? Like, yesterday. I'm not going to get Mulligan tired from it. It's just a bit Bit of a lame-o.
I also love that, obviously, the QVC thing's affected Sir Paul. He still says that money can't buy you love. He's obviously not flicked over to Babe Station, in which case, buy you a certain kind of love, Paul. Jim, what about yourself? Sir Paul McCartney addicted to shopping channels. That's a big surprise, do you think?
Aye, because he's got a 1,500-acre farm in East Sussex, and he's worth 820 million. And it says here he's got a horse called Moonstar. Mate, get yourself a John Deere. Honestly, far better. What's he doing, that big farm with one horse? And when you mentioned there, he was on about his German stain remover called DD7. Up here, a stain remover's the vet that does castrations. So, sorry, taking that too far.
Lovely image that is. And what about shopping channels then, Jay? Is that something that you've ordered from?
Well, towards the end of my pregnancy, I had insomnia, so I'd end up making random purchases, normally from Instagram adverts, which are very misleading because, like, I bought a maternity jumpsuit in a fetching shade of green, which I thought would make me look really glamorous, and then in reality, it turned up and I looked like an anaconda had swallowed a hippo. I'm not kidding.
I love that. Sir Paul McCartney is the right answer. 2 points go to Susie and Jamie. And so time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
We do consider both the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny to be essential workers.
There we go. That is New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern there, making sure everybody knows that Easter isn't cancelled. Right, let's go for it. Here we go, teams. Nearly 2/3 of people can't do what in a conversation?
Listen.
Sorry, what were you saying? Nearly 2/3 of people can't do what in a conversation?
Switch effortlessly to conversational German.
Yeah. Nearly 2/3 of people can't do what in a conversation?
Is it try and figure out how Zoom works?
Nearly 2/3 of people can't do what in a conversation?
That look interested.
So true, isn't it? That's brilliant. I can give you the right answer in that. Nearly 2/3 of people can't go 10 minutes without telling a lie in a conversation.
We do consider both the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny to be essential workers.
And there we go. The klaxon is gone. Jacinda has Ardern, and it means at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Jay Lafferty and Jim Smith. And commiserations to Susie McCabe and Jamie McDonald. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. Almost 7,000 households still watch TV in black and white. Those viewers particularly enjoy David Attenborough's documentaries about pandas, penguins and zebras because they say the pictures are so lifelike. A Glaswegian who reports they're in possession of the last McDonald's cheeseburger is selling it online for a grand total of £99. And to collect it, you'll need to go to his house and drive up to the second window. And a new drama about the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cheating scandal is to air on Monday. But as it involves people coughing over and over again, viewers are advised to stay at least 6 feet away from the television. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.